This is a HeadGum podcast.
Hello and welcome to The Complete Guide to Everything, a podcast about everything. I am one of your hosts, Tom.
And I'm Tim.
Tim, how are you doing this week?
Tom, I'm feeling optimistic.
Because you heard Ben Affleck is coming back to the role of Batman, the role he originated of Bruce Wayne?
Ben Affleck originated the role of Bruce Wayne?
As far as I'm concerned.
No, you told me about that. Is this what you wanted to talk about? You also said you wanted to talk about things at the beginning of the episode. You wanted me to give you a lot of leeway, a wide berth to just go off. So if it's Batfleck related, Tom?
No, I'm just saying, I think, we have to talk about it. If we didn't mention it, people would be like, why aren't they talking about it? Their silence speaks volumes. He's going to come back to play Batman in the Flash movie. Because he's doing much better now, Tim. He's off the booze again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he seems like a troubled man in some ways. Mm-hmm. But then also, he's like, even at his lowest, he's way more put together than either one of us.
I don't know. I've seen some pictures where he looks like shit.
Yeah, but if they coerced him and got him into a shirt and tie, he would be more put together than either of us on our best day.
I don't know. I think you're really underplaying how bad his battle with alcohol was at times.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
But
Ben Affleck at his lowest is far above a Tom Reynolds at his highest.
Well, I beg to differ. I like to think a little better of myself. And no disrespect to Mr. Affleck. But yeah, when people go through bad times, they go through good times. He was going through a bad time when he was playing Batman. And now things are much better. He's dating the girl.
He was in a bunch of bad movies when he was playing Batman.
That too.
It's kind of stuck when your job is being in movies, and then they're like,
well, all the movies you have to be in are going to be real bad, though.
Yeah.
He's dating the girl from Knives Out.
Okay.
And things seem to be going great for him.
Great. I saw paparazzi pictures of them.
Paparazzo.
But
Tim, I choose not to encourage the paparazzo.
Just the one?
By looking at their photographs.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't make heads or tails, but I couldn't recognize who was in the photographs. Because
they were wearing masks?
Yeah. How am I supposed to understand?
That must really hurt the paparazzi business right now. That's like, no, I'm telling you, this is Leonardo DiCaprio. It's like,
you could be like, hey, this is Leonardo DiCaprio, and you wink.
Yeah.
And then the what's his face? Harvey Levin's like, I understand.
I saw that happen today. Not Leonardo DiCaprio and paparazzi, but like somebody.
How old is Harvey Levin?
I'm gonna guess mid-60s.
Yeah, I'd like to be able to wear a T-shirt that tight when I'm in my mid-60s.
Yeah, all right. Then get to work.
I know. I have to get to work.
Because you're not on that trajectory right now.
I know. That's why I asked you if we could end early tonight.
Right now, honestly, you look worse than Ben Affleck on his worst day.
I know, Tom. And I feel great, which is, it's terrible.
I was going to say, I saw earlier today when I was walking my dog, a guy say hi to a guy on the street, and they were both wearing masks. And it was very obvious that the guy wasn't who he thought he was. Because the other guy just didn't give any kind of response. And he gave like a big wave. And I was thinking about how one time when I was like in the early days of dating my girlfriend, she showed up at a, what? What are you laughing about?
Nothing. I was going to
Tim,
make
I
an
told you.
inappropriate joke.
I told you you'll meet her one day. She can't come down here yet because she's in Canada and because of the COVID restrictions.
Yeah, the COVID restrictions.
She can't
from Canada.
travel.
No, you explained this. I understand. It adds up.
As soon as she can travel, she'll be here, Tim. I've given her, boy, at this point, close to $20,000 to buy that airplane ticket. You know, they've gone up in price a lot because of COVID, according to her.
The airplanes?
The airplane tickets, yeah. So I have to keep
from
sending. From
Canada to the United States.
Yeah, I have to keep sending more money. Until she's able to buy one. I think we're getting close, though.
You should be. $20,000 is a lot of money, Tom.
Well, it's not enough to buy a plane ticket right now, apparently. No, but one time in the early days when we were dating, she showed up for a date, and like I was waiting outside the restaurant, and she was wearing glasses, and I hadn't seen her wearing glasses yet, and I didn't recognize her. Like, I walked right past her like she was Clark Kent or something.
And then did she say hi, and you went, "No time for you, nerd.
Yeah,
I'm here to meet a beautiful woman."
Excuse me, could you get away from me? I'm waiting to meet a babe.
Not some bookish nerd I wouldn't even ask to the prom.
But yeah, so
then did she take off her glasses and put her hair down?
Yeah, she took the pencil out of her hair
and just
bun.
went, "She's beautiful."
Yeah, and I didn't notice. It was right under my nose the entire time. But so I.
And then she found out that I had just dared you. I had offered you money to take her out on a date.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I lost the money and the girl. But so I totally get, like, I have not really been in a situation yet where I've had to like meet up with somebody while we're both wearing masks. Although kind of, like, I went to meet a bunch of people in the park. What was that, last month? And I couldn't find anybody for the life of me. And then finally, like, somebody waved at me, and I was like, "Oh yeah, obviously those are my friends." But you guys were wearing masks. I didn't recognize you.
We could see you from a mile away. We recognized your gait.
Long, like a gazelle.
Yeah, exactly. We're like, look at that long-legged freak.
Anyway, I'm not. Oh, what were you gonna say? You're doing great. Is that all?
Yeah, no, I was gonna ask you how you're doing.
I'm not doing great, Tim. I burnt my mouth on a Stouffer's pizza last night, and I left this pizza. I'm not an amateur when it comes to eating Stouffer's pizzas. I know you got to leave it out for a little bit, and I did that, and it still burned my damn mouth.
I would say you probably didn't leave it out long enough.
No, apparently I didn't, but still.
Tom,
so I'm mad about that.
I don't want to judge you at all.
Uh-huh.
What are you eating a Stouffer's pizza for? If you're going to eat pizza like that, just get an Helios. Just own it.
No, Stouffer's are nicer. They're French bread.
Ooh la la.
Exactly. But then also, outside my building, have you ever heard of this term, brick pointing?
Brick pointing?
Brick pointing.
Brick pointing. No.
It's like cleaning up bricks, basically, like redoing the
power washing?
No, it's like redoing the not grout, the stuff that keeps the
mortar.
Bricks, the mortar, yeah. It's like redoing that and like cleaning and stuff like that. But they've got the scaffolding hanging right outside my window. So far every day this week, I've been awoken at about 7 a.m. by a man looking through my window, using a drill powerful enough to drill into bricks. That's just unbelievably loud. And then them doing that until 4:00 in the afternoon, nonstop. No, they stop for lunch. When they stop for lunch, that's when I also eat lunch. I pretend I'm one of the guys.
I thought that's when you get out there and start brick pointing.
I get out there and I start just rubbing schmutz on all the bricks, undoing their hard work. And they go, "Oh, come on, man. I've been working on that all day." Like, I love
Do you have curtains on your window?
I do, but I painted my apartment this weekend. And as a result, I took
all black, right?
Yeah, all black
with some black light paint.
Yeah, some UV. So when the UV lights are on, or the black lights, then you see some very cool, intricate designs. I got one of the Grateful Dead bears walking around.
Nice. I know you wrote, why so serious on one of the walls.
I wrote why so
in a truly
serious.
Twisted kind of font.
I've got the caterpillar from Alice in Wonderland painted on there.
That's cool.
Smoking
That's
from a hookah. Yeah, it's some cool shit. But I, in a panic on Monday morning at like 7:30 in the morning, had to quickly put my curtains back up, like drill them back into the wall, because I was going to get new curtains and curtain rods. If I knew that, I wouldn't have used the spackle and spackled over all the holes I've made in this apartment over the years.
Well, seems like your life is pretty tough right now, Tom.
It is pretty tough. I mean, I don't want to downplay what Ben Affleck has gone through, but it's right up there. And my apartment smells like paint all the time now, and I think it's making me have a constant headache.
Can you not open the windows to air it out because everybody's brick pointing out there all the time?
Yeah, because it's so unbelievably loud. Like, loud to the point where if you were in the apartment with me and I was talking to you with the windows open, you wouldn't be able to hear me.
How long have they been doing it, and when will it be done?
That's the worst part. They just started. And I was looking at the permits the other day because I was like, there's no way this is fine. Like, let me see what these permits actually say. And the permits were all in order. And it said that the estimated time they would finish the project was the end of March 2021.
Great.
So, yeah, I'm living in a hellscape. But it's fine because at least I can leave my apartment. Oh, wait a minute. I can't leave my apartment. I mean, I can. I'm not under house arrest anymore. But I can, there's not many places to go.
What I try to do is I have a mask, and you probably don't know this because we haven't seen each other much.
No.
How many times have we seen each other? Twice?
Maybe just once.
Since March?
Oh, twice because I gave you something.
Yeah, I stopped at your apartment
for a
to
microphone.
pick up a microphone.
Yeah.
Tom, this very microphone I'm speaking into right now.
Business related. We risked our lives to make sure that your sound quality was as good as possible.
Yeah. These ungrateful bastards are just
I didn't
half listening to us right now.
I didn't.
Probably
your words, not mine.
Yo, you say worse, Tom.
What were you going to say about you have a mask that what?
Oh, I have a mask that it's a design. It's not a crazy design or anything, but it's a very distinctive design.
Okay.
On it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just try to wear that same mask all the time, so it kind of replaces my face. So everybody that sees me is just kind of like, oh, I know this guy. So they don't have to be looking in my eyes. They can just be like, I know this mask.
I have a black mask that I wear.
Cool, like Batman.
Right. And then I got...
this one has to cover your mouth, though, Tom. And what you're describing is a cowl.
Right. Well, that's so nobody can know my identity and hurt my family. And those I love. I got a different black mask. You know what? I bought a mask at you know me, Tim. Tim, what am I, if not a sucker for things at a checkout counter? And they had Korean masks at the checkout counter one day at the supermarket. So I was like, give me one of the masks. And I got the mask, which claimed that it was 99% effective, which is even better than the hospital mask. It is not 99% effective, but it's comfortable. So sometimes I'll wear that when I'm just going out to walk my dog. So it's like,
how do you know it's not that effective? Can you stick your tongue through it?
No, you're right. I can't stick my tongue through it. So maybe it is that effective. But when I walk my dog, I'll throw that on sometimes. Although I've stopped because despite that being just like another plain black mask, my phone doesn't recognize my face with that mask on, and it won't unlock.
Oh, my phone doesn't recognize my face with any mask on.
Oh, really? Mine thinks that my mask is part of my face at this point and will unlock.
Because you have that one that is the Joker's mouth with the where he cut the scar into
the
a
Glasgow
smile.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's your mask has that over your mouth, right?
Yes. So, yeah, it thinks that I have that. That's what my face looks like at this point. Tim, this week we're talking about America's favorite store, Walmart. I'm surprised we've never done an episode about Walmart before.
Yeah. Is it America's favorite store, do you think?
It's America's most, I don't know, revenue-y store, most profitable store, most.
No, most revenue-y is I think the proper economic term for it.
I'm sorry to get so in the weeds with these terms, Tim. I had my quarterly earnings call with the investors earlier this week, so
it's tough to code switch.
Yeah. This is just the way I have to talk in front of the suits.
No, I'm just curious with Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm reading a lot of things about Walmart, or I was reading a lot of things about Walmart in preparation for this episode, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the stuff was like, as of 2014, this was the case. And it's like, yeah, a lot's happened in the last 6 years.
Yeah. I believe they are still have more yearly revenue than. Actually, I have no idea. I don't know. They're close. I'm sure Walmart and Amazon are about the same. Brick and mortar, I will say. How about that? Well, that's where we'll draw the line. That for sure. They're the biggest brick and mortar.
Yeah, for sure.
Why couldn't I think of the word mortar before when it's right there in brick and mortar?
That's Tom. That's my trick to remembering the word mortar.
Yeah.
Just remember the phrase brick and mortar because we say it all the time.
Yeah. So yeah, they're the biggest store, Tim. Although we don't necessarily feel it often because they're really there's definitely no Walmarts in Manhattan, but are there any in like Brooklyn, Queens, Staten Island, maybe the Bronx?
There's got to be one in Staten Island.
Yeah. But they are much less prevalent, I would say, in New York City for sure. And even Long Island, where we grew up, there really weren't that many Walmarts. We had plenty of other chains. I think maybe just because Long Island was kind of like one of the first suburbs, or, one of the biggest first suburbs. Just a bunch of other chains got there first before Walmart. Where Tom, are you finding do your research?
Well, I was looking. I went to Walmart.com to find out where the closest store was, and I just chose a random Manhattan zip code to search for, and I just put that zip code in, but I accidentally put it in the search box.
Yeah.
And the first thing that came up in the products that matched the zip code 10013 was a Fram Ultra Premium air filter.
Wow, nice.
Yeah,
all right.
For select Honda vehicles.
Okay.
We're big fans of Fram here at the Complete Guide to Everything.
I don't have a Honda, but I don't think you do either. Do you?
I'll buy one if I could buy a Fram air filter.
You can buy a Fram air filter for any kind of car, Tim. That's what makes them great. But yeah, so we just don't really have that many around here. So whenever I've gone to one, you've been in a Walmart with me. You see how I am in Walmart.
You're a kid in a candy store.
I just find them fascinating because you're a
dimwit in a big box store.
Yeah, I mean, it is just I don't know why this only dawned on me a few years ago. that these big box stores are warehouses. Like they just build a warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
It's not built like a store. These ceilings are so freaking high. Why do they have to make the ceiling so high?
So wait, what you're saying is you're impressed by the height of the ceilings?
Yeah, a little bit, Tim. They're to higher ceilings than I normally see.
Height in general, even of like buildings and rooms, that's something that's impressive to you, not just the height of a person?
Yep. I like height.
Huh.
How high up is that plane? I usually ask people in the street when I'm... How high do you think that plane is? But I did read, I don't know how old this stat is, but that 90% of U.S. residents are within 15 miles or minutes of a Walmart.
Wow.
I guess it could be both if you're driving 60 miles an hour to get there.
Yeah. I think Walmart is a cancer on society.
Oh, no. What makes you think that?
No, here's the thing about Walmart. In my formative years,
Mm-hmm.
I was so anti-Walmart all the time. I remember they were trying to bring a Walmart to Manhattan when I was in college.
Yeah.
In Manhattan.
Well, you were just mad because you thought you wouldn't be able to buy albums with explicit lyrics on them there.
Yeah, that's true. And I think that's valid. But I was so against them. But now that Amazon exists, like
now Walmart's the little guy.
Yeah, I buy things off Walmart if I need them and can't find them anywhere because it's like, well, I'm not gonna shop from Amazon. That's for goddamn sure.
Well, that's a weird thing about.
It's the creep. It's
yeah.
They were the worst thing that ever happened to the American economy until something even worse happened.
Well, that's what when I see people lamenting Barnes and Noble closing stores, when it's like, no, Barnes and Noble is the bad guy. They came in.
Yeah, haven't you seen You Got Mail?
Yeah, they came in and they destroyed all these small bookstores, and now Amazon's destroying them. I don't know. It's not good or bad. It's whatever.
No, it's all bad. It's every next thing is the worst. We're on a downward spiral. You see,
there are more independent bookstores now than ever in America, though. So I think that I don't know. You can't predict these things. But I can tell you, whenever I've gone into a Barnes and Noble in the past 5 years, I've been just like disgusted with the store. It's mostly a toy store and just like a. But
you love toys.
I know, but they don't have fun toys because they are all like, oh, these are like kind of educational. It's like, just get some real toys. Actually, that's not true. The last Christmas I went in there to do some Christmas shopping, and they just had like no, they didn't have action figures. They had a lot of other stuff though.
I like when you start arguing with yourself. You say, you interrupt yourself and go, no.
They didn't have action figures, you idiot. That's not a real toy store.
The biggest toy retailer in America now is Walmart.
They're also the
Walmart
biggest grocery store in America.
Yeah, and this is the kind of stuff. This can't be right. We can't be doing this.
How can the biggest toy store be in a grocery store? Back when I was a kid, all the toys.
Logic.
Back when I was a kid, all the toys at the grocery store were awful. Maybe you could buy some army men, but that was about it.
Or one of those things where, like, a spinning disc would fly up out of a thing.
Yeah, and
it would spin real fast.
It worked like a few times, and then it would break.
Yeah, it was made out of the flimsiest plastic. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, maybe that's what kids like nowadays. Shit, garbage. Actually, that's true. I've seen what kids like.
No, kids have like movie quality props and stuff.
That's true.
They have the, what is Thanos? Is that the glove?
Infinity Gauntlet.
Infinity glove?
Infinity Gauntlet, you Philistine.
Not very well read, Tom. What can I say?
What does he have? That infinite glove? It never ends or something?
It's got stones in it, Tom. Mm-hmm. They're multicolored.
Yeah.
Ant-Man is there. So is Black Widow. See, I know these things.
Yeah, all right, you got it. Actually, Black Widow wasn't there. She was already dead by the time that happened.
What, Tom? I mean, she was there in the movie, and she was there in spirit.
She might have been there in spirit. Tim, did you already pre-buy your tickets to Black Widow in the movie theaters, and now you're upset hearing that she's actually dead?
Yes, of course. Are you still boycotting Black Widow because it's a female lead?
No, I'm boycotting Black Widow because I'm not going to risk my life to go see a movie in the movie theater. I did already pre-order Bill and Ted Face the Music. I'm excited to watch that on the day it comes out. I'm very excited, actually, because I was bummed. I was like, you know what sucks? They're going to put that out, and it's going to be like a $20 rental. And like, I'll pay that, but like, I wish they were just like, for $40, you can just own it. But they did even better. $25, you just pre-order it and you own it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's what I did. I was like, I'll do that, sure.
I guarantee you will only watch that movie one time in your whole life.
Tim, it cost me $25. I'm going to watch that movie at least 5 times the weekend it comes out. $5 a viewing.
I'm excited for that movie, and I'm going to watch Excellent Adventure and Bogus Journey in preparation.
Well, you're going to have to buy them because they're not on any streaming services.
That's okay. Can I rent them?
Yeah, you can probably rent them. I could also give you my Voodoo password.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you pirated everything.
No, I own those movies too, Tim. I'm a patron of the arts.
You're a patron of Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter.
Absolutely. Those are my guys.
Do they have a Patreon, do you think?
No, they should. Boy, they would kill it. Anyway, Tim, Walmart. Do you know how much the Waltons, the family behind Walmart, is worth?
Oh, those ghouls are worth somewhere around $225 billion, I think.
It's true. They are the richest non-royal family in the world. They have to have looked into like, hey, how can we be a royal family? Come on. We're up there. We're rich. Make us kings and queens and princes and dukes and dames.
No, because I think these freaks, they're happy to be the richest family on earth, and you couldn't pick one of these assholes out of a lineup.
Yeah, that's the best kind of rich.
Yeah, rich and famous sucks.
Yeah.
Rich rules.
That's what I don't get. Like, I mean, I guess this is different, but like, these different QAnon, this QAnon conspiracy theory, where they talk about like, well, actually, no. And like other ones like the,
you're arguing with yourself again, Tom. I didn't say anything.
the Bilderberg conference and all that.
Yeah.
Like all these people, they're planning how to take over the world. And it's like, knuckleheads, they already have. What would they be planning? They're like, they're going to wipe out 75% of the population to institute a new world order. Why would they do that? They've already got everything. They're just going to
everything they want or need.
They want nothing more than the status quo. They want absolutely nothing to change. They didn't get this rich by taking big gambles, like let's wipe out 75% of the population, and then afterwards maybe we'll be in charge. So like, no, let's keep everybody around, have them go to Walmart more.
Yeah. So yeah, they're benefiting from all of us going to Walmart.
Yeah.
And
so I'm saying people like the Walton family, it's like, no, they don't want to like have nefarious plots to like secretly.
They had it. They had them already, and
exactly.
They worked.
Yeah,
and this is it. We're living in their nefarious. We're living in the aftermath of their nefarious plot.
Yeah,
their nefarious plot was put into motion and finished. And now we're there. We're living in the hellscape that they created.
And now it's like their descendants that are like, I was born into just not having to do anything and be one of the richest people in the world. All right, I'm good with that. This is more money than anyone could spend in 100 lifetimes. yeah, I'm not going to mess with that too much. I'm not going to try and wipe out 75% of the population to be king. I'd rather nobody know who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Except for
continue paying the employees at our stores near poverty wages.
Yeah. If
the government will come in and provide them assistance.
Nobody knows,
so they can use government assistance to buy food at the stores that they work in.
Yeah, why would they want to get rid of the government? That's just the best. Because like important people, other rich people, they know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't walk into like a, they don't walk into one of these eyes wide shut sex parties and everybody's like, who's that guy? They're all like, nah, that's Sam Walton's grandson. He's the one throwing this eyes wide shut party.
Each one of these pieces of shit is worth like $25 billion or something?
Something like that.
Yeah, if I had $25 billion, I wouldn't want anybody to know. Rich people, poor people, anybody.
No.
I would just want to just be like, you know what? I want something. Guess what? It's mine. I want something to happen. Guess what? I'll pay someone to make it happen.
Yeah. Well, you ever watch these like documentaries and stuff about people that win the lottery and it ruins their lives?
Oh yeah, I've talked about this. I have a plan. Like the first thing I'd do if I win the lottery. First of all, everybody's always like, people who play the lottery, they're really dumb. They never say that to anybody who won the lottery.
That's true. They never go, you idiot.
Yeah, exactly. You guy with $95 million lump sum. But yeah, nowadays you can look it up online, like how to do like a trust or whatever, and not have to put your name to something. And the blind trust is when you can't see what your money's doing.
It's what the president's supposed to have.
Yeah. No, I think he has it.
Yeah,
something like that.
I doubt his sons are telling him anything.
If I ever won the lottery, nobody would know it. You wouldn't know it. I could have won the lottery last year, Tom. I would do this, what we're doing right now, the podcast, reluctantly, just to keep up appearances.
You wouldn't hire a look and sound alike at some point to just keep...
Ooh, that'd be nice.
Yeah. I've seen pictures where like people, I guess in some states you like have to show up to get the check, but there's no rules about like having to be identifiable. So it's people wearing like ski masks and sunglasses with gloves on. So like you can't even tell what their hands look like. That would 100% be me. Nobody needs to know, because
I would recognize you from your gait though. Be like, there's Tom.
There's Tom
walking away with that $95 million check.
I don't know why you insist on watching all the press conferences with the lottery winners, Tim. Just hoping that you're going to recognize somebody's gait and be able to hit them up for money.
That's also why I'm a student of most of people's gaits that I know.
Now, would you come up with some kind of a elaborate story to explain? See, I think that's what I would do. I would come up with some elaborate story of like, my grandfather had these stock. No, because then you're still gonna. You have to
stop arguing with yourself.
If somebody, because the big problem is if people around you think, oh, you got that money for free, then why can't you give me some of it? Mm-hmm. So you have to come up with a way to convince people that you earned it.
Very quickly.
Very quickly. Or that you've earned it in secret and now you're revealing it to people.
I don't know, man. Like, let's say you got $25 million tax-free tomorrow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Would you start living an audacious lifestyle? Or would you just kind of be like, oh, cool. Like, I'll probably move to a nicer apartment. But I don't need anything too crazy.
No, I mean, I would put that money, I would hire a money manager and like invest that money, live off the interest, and like probably buy I wouldn't buy a $25 million apartment, but I would buy a nice apartment that would also serve as an investment. I don't.
Now, in the past, you said if you had that amount of money, you'd give it to Al Qaeda.
So, Tim, we talked a lot about the corporate side of Walmart. Let's talk about the softer side of Walmart, which is going into a Walmart.
Come see the softer side of Sears.
But not Sears, Walmart.
Yeah, but if the other stores, Walmart.
I was looking into, so I went to a Walmart recently, which I'll talk about in a moment. But I was watching. So now in the Walmarts, when you go inside, they've got these big like obelisks. They're like 16 feet tall, and they're the pickup towers. So you can order stuff online. You go up to this giant tower. And
is this specific for COVID times?
No. It's been something I've been working on. I think in some states they even have them outside, not necessarily in the stores. And basically, it's how you pick up online orders. That you go up to it, you open up your app, you show the machine a code, and the machine's just a giant vending machine. Goes and gets your order and gives it to you, which I think is great. As you know, I don't like interacting with people, but
service employees being employed.
No. It's just I've had so many interactions with actually lately it's been better the past few years, but I've had interactions where I've done in-store pickup for something and it's taken so long. I'm like, this is insane. I'll just go walk over there, grab it off the shelf and just buy it. That would be fun.
Right.
But I did in-store pickup at Lowe's recently. And I think it was the first time in a very long time. I mean, I guess I also don't go to stores that often where like the person was like very nice and like cheerful, and it made my day. I really liked it.
Yeah, everybody has to treat you like you're a celebrity. Otherwise,
not treat me like I'm celebrity, but like treat me like talking to me isn't the most hellish thing you could ever imagine.
Yeah, I just feel like
just
if
have a
you
normal
paid people better, they'd be friendlier because they'd be generally happier people.
Oh, absolutely.
Stressed about how they're gonna fucking pay for food or childcare or health care.
To be clear, in most of these situations, I do not blame the employee. I blame the employer. Because it's like, well, what you're making this, a horrible situation for this person, and that's
but lucky for the employer. It's only the employee that has to deal with anybody.
What do you mean?
I see. You get angry at the situation, you take it out on the employee because even though you're mad at the employer's not there.
Yeah, it's true.
So that's why you scream in the employee's face.
Well, and even if you ask for the manager, it's like, the manager at Lowe's or whatever is still pretty low on the totem pole. You're just yelling at somebody else who's underpaid. But anyway, it was a nice...
I did in-store pickup at Home Depot, which is a horrible, horrible store that nobody should ever shop at. But they had a locker system. So the lockers were pretty much they weren't outside, but they weren't in the store proper. They were in like the vestibule when you walked in.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You unlocked it with I think a QR code. Stuff's waiting in there, and then you go back out to your car. It's great. Yeah, a horrible store. I mean, if you go there, you should take your thing out of your product out of the locker and then spit in it. No, because then somebody's just going to clean it up. This stinks.
I thought you were saying spit in the product. Like, well, what good is that going to do?
But don't spit in the locker because some guy's going to clean it up.
So I was bringing up this obelisk thing because one of the things that I came across in researching Walmart that's insane is how much free marketing local news gives to Walmart. One of the most recent articles that I found that had Walmart in it was like a local ABC News affiliate with like, here's all the exclusive items coming to Walmart this Christmas. That's not news. Don't print that. I know you're desperate for like easy content and you could just put up their press release, but like, stop. Anyway, there was another one that I watched about because I want to know.
Tom, why are you so opposed to a free press?
There was another one that I want like a YouTube video I watched about how the pickup tower works, and it was I think it was NBC in LA, so like a big affiliate, and LA is the second biggest market in America, and this guy's just doing a commercial about this. Look, the machine's like neat, but it's fine. It's just serving a purpose, and this guy's searching for things to like hype it up. And as he's walking around the tower, he goes, there's a vent right there because it's a real working machine. Like, just pointing out there's like a small little exhaust vent, probably just to keep air circulating in and out of it. And then he says, people probably...
Ooh, impressive, a vent.
Then he said, people probably come into the store just to take pictures of this thing. And let me tell you, the idea of this thing is that it's like pretty much as nondescript as you could make a giant thing. Like, it doesn't look that interesting. And then he points out that they have, like you were saying, lockers, and they have bigger lockers. And because he's like a guy on the news, he goes to the biggest locker. He's like, yeah, this would be my locker right here. I think you probably you could fit a nice 30-inch flat screen TV in there. And this is from like a year or two ago. It's like a 30-inch flat screen. I looked up on Walmart. They had multiple 30-inch TVs for $80. And this guy's bragging like, yeah, this locker's for me with my $80 television. That's right. Look, I know this is not informative, but this guy just really pissed me off.
To be honest, Tom, I have no idea how big my TV is. If you had told me it was a 30-inch TV, I'd be like,
it's
maybe.
Bigger than 30-inch. It's probably a 46-inch, maybe.
Right.
Maybe 50. Who knows? Anyway, Tim, do you know what their top-selling item is at Walmart?
Some AR-15.
No, it is bananas.
Really?
Mm-hmm. But
I feel like in many parts of the country,
mm-hmm.
people think bananas are still too ethnic of a food.
I don't think that's true. Here's why I think it's bananas, though. Because if you think about when you go to the store to buy bananas, they've only got like one banana usually, right?
What? No, they have bunches of bananas.
No, I don't mean that. I mean, they don't. It's all Cavendish bananas. They don't have multiple types of bananas. They don't have multiple brands of bananas because who gives a
so what
shit?
you're saying is like they might sell more actual onions, but like
Right.
since there are different varieties of onion, it doesn't count as one
Exactly.
product. Okay.
So that's my and same thing with AR-15s, Sam. You know, they've got different kinds of AR-15s. People could get all different types. I've always been surprised. So like most of the times that I've been at a Walmart and that especially when I've been there, I think most of the times I've been to a Walmart, I've been there with you. And it's often been in preparation for camping or for staying at like a group home. Not a group home, but like a halfway house. Not a halfway house. Just like a bunch of friends renting a house for a weekend, a long weekend.
Yeah.
And
and that's the thing. It was mostly for a long time. The only time I ever stepped foot inside of a Walmart was on our way to a camping trip because
it was like the last stop. Like,
yeah,
all right.
And I don't have appropriate gear for spending a weekend in the woods.
Right.
So I always had to rebuy things.
Yeah.
And the Walmart camping section is fun.
Yeah, it's so much. That's why I think I associate Walmart with a fun time, because I like all the little weird things they have in the camping section, and especially how cheap everything is there.
Yeah, but there's a cost to that.
Not
there's
to me.
There's a societal cost to that. Yeah.
Yeah, I found I have like a Swiss Army knife. It looks like a Swiss Army knife, and if I showed it to you, you'd probably be like, "Wow, cool Swiss Army knife." But guess what? It's actually utensils to eat with.
Whoa.
Yeah. And I bought that at a Walmart. I bought a lot of different flashlights, because you can buy flashlights for like 88 cents there. It's insane. I've yet to buy a bow and arrow there, but every time I go there, I get closer.
Tell me if this is problematic. My favorite Walmart purchase sounds like what you had there, but it was called a hobo tool.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm sure that's problematic, but whatever.
But it said it was printed on the package.
Yeah, and I think people who are genuine...
It was 2009 that I bought it.
And people that are genuine hobos, they're into, being a hobo is a lifestyle. And,
right.
And if you can't be hopping trains and reading hobo signals that people have left throughout the country and then be like, well, don't call me a hobo. I don't like that.
Right. It had a fork, had a spoon, it had a bottle opener.
Please don't call me a hobo. I prefer the term drifter.
I think my wife would probably object to me using it to eat every meal, though.
But what if you insisted that it reminded you of your life on the rails before you met her?
Yeah. I did buy it when I was on the road with a band, Tom.
Uh-huh. The closest thing to being a modern-day hobo.
Exactly. I was a troubadour.
You were a busker.
Troubadour, I'd say.
A
jester.
I recently read, I was reading about wrestling. They were talking about, there's a new wrestling outfit, AEW, which I had not heard of prior.
I was like, I know about a onesie.
I know about a onesie. I know about the little Speedo things, but tell me more. I know about the ones that look like a caveman, where it's just one strap like Andre the Giant wore.
Did anybody but Andre the Giant wear that?
George the Animal Steel wore that as well, I believe.
Okay, yeah. What did Superfly Jimmy Snuka?
No, oh boy. He killed his wife, I think.
Yeah, no, he definitely killed people.
He definitely also screamed in my face when I was a little kid one time, because I got too close to him asking for an autograph.
Yeah, why did he come to that? That was weird times when they had wrestling. They had over the hill washed up wrestlers come to our high school.
Yeah, but we weren't in high school yet.
No, we were little kids.
But the whole town went. And then by the time I was in high school, or we were in high school, and I was the class president, I was asking everyone I knew. It's like, hey, when I was a kid, 10 years ago, they had wrestling at the high school. How did that come about? Let's do that again. I'm sure that made a ton of money. Let's forget it with the talent shows and the car washes and selling cookies or whatever. Let's do a big wrestling show and we'll rake in the cash. Prom will be free. And everybody looked at me like I was crazy. And these are teachers where I'm like, I know you were here during this time. You don't remember this? You didn't? Was this an under the radar show? Did nobody at the school know about this?
But Tom, they
did somebody
they swept it under the rug. They were gaslighting you.
Did somebody just pay off the janitor to leave a door open one Friday night?
No, they invited as a fundraiser a man who murdered his wife.
They didn't know that yet.
And then went to stand trial and was deemed not mentally fit to stand trial.
Yeah, well,
in the murder. And that was the person that they were like, No, we'll have him come to the school on a Friday night, and all the families will come as a fundraiser. Of course, when you brought that up, they were like, what? No, that never happened. What, are you crazy? You must be crazy.
I mean, I'm telling you, Tim, I was a little kid, and this was like the biggest, most muscular man I'd ever seen in my life. And the way he screamed at me, it scared the shit out of me.
Do you think he thought he was giving you a thrill?
No, because in fairness, he did apologize right after. Like, it was like he lost his cool and screamed in my face.
What did he say?
He's like, get away from me! Stop touching me! And it wasn't even me doing that. And then I think he saw me, like, physically shake. And he was like, I'm sorry, kid. I'm sorry.
We lost him January 15th, 2017.
Oh, he's not. Oh, I think I did know that.
But Superfly Jimmy Snuka lived to 73, which is shocking for that.
Yeah,
guy.
I mean, because he obviously had extreme concussion with CTE.
Yeah.
But anyway, why was I talking about this?
There's a new wrestling outfit that you're excited about?
No, but what was I saying about it?
I don't know. I interrupted you and started talking about Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a new wrestling outfit. Oh, and I was like looking into him because I was like, I don't know about this. And it's like a billionaire's son is running the show or whatever.
That's the only way anything gets done right now.
Yeah,
it's
well,
like
we got to find a billionaire's
production
son.
studio is like, oh, it's a billionaire's kid who's interested in this stuff. So you better hope that some of these kids of billionaires have good taste because they'll be dictating what culture is for the next decade.
So far they seem to be putting all their eggs in the wrestling basket. So I think
no, there's definitely some like movie studios and stuff that are.
So I was reading about it, and they were explaining. They're like, oh, within the context of the show, the organization is, a sports regulatory body that establishes the rules and blah, 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 blah. And they're like, of course, that's all part of the show. In reality, the show is most closely, or the company is most closely related to the idea of a traveling theater troupe. And it's like, oh, yeah, that is what wrestling is. It's a traveling theater troupe.
That sounds pretty high-minded.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, hey, you want to go see? There's a traveling theater troupe in town. They're at Nassau Coliseum tonight. You want to see what production they're going to put on? Maybe it'll be Shakespeare, or maybe something else in the public domain. But no, it's better. It's wrestling.
Yeah, it's like people surreptitiously cutting themselves with razor blades.
For your entertainment.
What year did Superfly Jimmy Snuka come to our high school? 1990, probably?
I would guess
91?
Around there. Yeah, somewhere around there.
He was voted by the Wrestling Observer newsletter in 1984. 6 or 7 years prior to this. He was voted most washed up wrestler.
Oh, yikes.
And we got him almost a decade after that.
And he was like the big draw at that show. It was like,
he was the
Jimmy
marquee
Snuka's
event.
here.
Yeah.
They had little people wrestling in there. Like,
yeah, there's no wonder the school was like, no, that never happened, Tom. That must have been a fever dream.
Well, they're lucky I was only class president and not editor of the school newspaper, Tim, or else I would have done an expose. Blown the doors wide off that. Tim, can you take a guess at how much Walmart loses to shoplifting every year?
I'm going to say it's obscene. Like, they claim it's obscene. I'm going to say they say it's like $2 billion.
No, you idiot. It's $3 billion.
Okay.
Which, I mean, doesn't sound like you were that far off, but you were 50% off.
I was $1 billion off.
Yeah, $1 billion off. But 3 billion on 300 billion in revenue, so a 1% shrink.
Yeah, good.
Which is
Steal
still
from it, burn it down. I don't care. Whatever.
Do you were you at Walmart when I stole from them when we went to a house last time?
No, you stole what, a hat?
I stole a hat from Walmart, and it was thrilling. It was such a thrill. I don't know if I've ever really shoplifted, but I shoplifted from Walmart, and it was a shoplift. Look, I'm not going to completely explain away what I did, which was stealing, which is a sin. But
It's between you and your God, Tom.
A, it's Walmart, who cares? But B, I stole out of convenience, not out of like, oh, I'm going to steal something I can't afford to buy here. So I was doing the self-checkout, and I had a bunch of stuff. I was buying a bunch of groceries and everything. A bunch of us went on a shopping run, and I was buying myself a silly hat. It was like a $9 hat, and I scanned it last, and there was no tag to scan. What I should have done, according to the Walmart, is go get one with a tag to scan. I was like, no.
There's probably a line behind you.
Yeah. I was like, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to put it in my bag and pretend like I bought it. And that worked. And I recently found out, and boy, let me tell you, the thrill walking out of there, like, oh boy. And I was just like, and I like, even when like the security guard's standing by there, I was like, I'm a white guy pushing 40. I'll throw a fit if he has to see in my bag, and that'll work. And that's society's fault, not my fault. But anyway, but then I read up about how apparently Walmart uses some like AI to.
They use like a lot of microphones.
They use microphones, cameras with like artificial intelligence reading it. And apparently, you know, it's one of these things where they sign some like $100 million contract, multiple $100 million. And the big secret is that it's horrible and doesn't work at all, which I definitely saw because I just took something and walked out with it and nothing happened.
I mean, it was a $9 hat. I bet if you tried to walk out with a 30-inch flat screen, baby.
That's true. It might be different.
I had something to say.
And you know what? I thought this hat was great when I first got it, and then I put it on like when it was actually cold. Yeah, it's not so good. It's a very cheap hat.
How long until they have some contract with, what is that company? Planeteer?
Plantar?
Plantar?
I thought
there was a
I
Plantir. Is that what's his face? The
Peter Thiel?
horrible man. Yeah.
Plantier, yeah.
How long until it's like the second you walk into a Walmart, they've identified everything about you, like your name, your address, your social security number, everybody that you've ever come into contact with, and the context of that, your credit score, all of that stuff. Like, I think we're less than 5 years away from going into a Walmart and like the secret police can grab you at any point.
Yeah. I mean, they could do that with existing technology. Have you heard about, I don't know what it's called, but there's an app that apparently a bunch of, the elite have, that you can take the app and, it's like an iPhone app, and just put it up to anybody's face, and it will recognize who they are and tell you everything about them.
Is that the thing that like just pulls things from social media?
Yeah. It's pulled like billions of pictures, so it knows basically everybody. And like Ashton Kutcher was like the knucklehead who kind of like beefed it on an episode of the YouTube series Hot Ones, where they ate hot wings. He like bragged about it. And I don't think he fully realized that people would be like, wait, what are you talking about? And then like people found other statements that other people had made, like cryptic statements
Kutcher
about
has it?
yeah, cryptic statements about, an app they had on their phone. And apparently it was like a company that, developed this for military use or government use, which not like that's any better. But,
Yeah, no, it's actually worse. Oh no, it'll only be in the hands of the people with the most power.
But then, of course, like gave a bunch of well-connected people access to it. I forget, there was another guy, like another billionaire, that bragged about like, yeah, my daughter dated a new guy, and like the first time he showed up at my house, I like scanned him with this thing and was able to see everything about him. So I think it's just Walmart is bad at implementing new technology. Otherwise, they would already have this stuff. I mean, that's the only reason why they've fallen behind Amazon, is just because they're not good at that stuff yet. But they'll get there, I'm sure. That's where the money is. I have faith in them.
I have faith in the richest people in the world to remain the richest, most powerful people in the world.
If you like the show, find out more at tcgte.com. You can follow us on Facebook.
If you want more information about Walmart, you can find it at tcgte.com.
Facebook.com/Complete Guide. Follow us on Twitter at Complete Guide. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Tom Reynolds.
Follow me at Your Pal Tim.
And you can follow both of us on Instagram at TCGTE. Sorry, it's different. The other one was taken, I think.
A squatter tried to sell it to us for $5,000.
Yeah, and we were like, no way, Jose. And if you want to support the show, check out our sponsors. Also, check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Complete Guide for Books the Podcast. This week, we're starting a new book, Tim. I haven't heard anything about it yet.
My
Tim's
sister,
reading it.
The Serial Killer.
You don't have a sister.
No, that's the character in the book does.
Oh, I thought you were saying like my sister, the serial killer, recommended this book.
No, I wouldn't. If I had a sister, Tom, do you think I would tell the world that she's a serial killer like the author of this book did?
What if she was a well-known serial killer and it was like, wow.
Are there any female the monster? The monster was
the monster. That's the most well-known female serial killer. The monster.
Patreon.com/Complete Guide. Did we say that?
Yeah, I did. I want to read you a little thing that I was reading about Sam Walton, titled "Sam Walton Did Not Believe in Charity." Despite the incredible amount of success that Walton met very early in his venture into business, he never believed in donating any money to charitable or philanthropic causes. He was of the opinion that the store's existence was more than enough, as it had already passed on savings to and thus improved the lives of their customers. He also believed that any charitable giving would take money out of the pockets of their customers or even their shareholders.
Well, first of all, God forbid the shareholders take a hit.
Right. You don't want to take money out of their pockets to give it to poor people.
Yeah. No, I mean there's a lot of justification for not.
Tim, if you're going to sit here and tell me that Sam Walton wasn't a good Christian, that this isn't what Jesus would have done if he owned Walmart, then, I'm just going to have to disagree.
Sam Walton was born to a man. I don't know his name.
He was like Junior?
No. He was born to a man. Like, he had a father, though.
Oh, okay.
But his father, the reason why Sam Walton was able to have money to buy another store, which I saw the history of Walmart on the Walmart website is way different from the history of Walmart.
History.
But Sam Walton's father left his family farm and went during the Great Depression. Was like, I'll work for my brother's mortgage company, and he was the guy that foreclosed on farms during the Great Depression.
A good man.
Yeah. That's how the family got their start in America.
Well,
American business.
They deserve the $250 billion that they now have and the power and influence that comes with it.
Nothing bad will ever happen to them, but we can hope that they get like a rare disease or something.
It doesn't even have to be rare. It could be a common disease.
Yeah, but I feel like rare is harder to
diagnose,
to treat. Yeah.
I don't know. Their stuff's so cheap, Tim. I bought a box of ice cream sandwiches. It had 8 ice cream sandwiches in it. It was $2. That's a quarter per ice cream sandwich.
It's pretty cheap. One time, one of the first times I was hanging out with my now wife, but at the time we were just dating. She got very lightheaded.
Oh, was this back when you were grooming her?
See you next week.
That was a HeadGum podcast.